What's up, y'all? What's up? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Make sure y'all hit the like button and sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit them notifications too. All right. Now, earlier, I was watching a clip from the Nightcap featuring Shannon Sharp and Gilbert Arenas. And the subject of KD saving the Warriors' legacy had came up again. I had already discussed this. I discussed this yesterday, and it was about what Isaiah Thomas had said in regards to KD saving the Warriors' legacy, uh, particularly Draymond, um, Steph, and Clay, in regards to their legacy and having chips and that sort of thing. Um, Gilbert Arenas has said that uh, KD had actually saved the Warriors' legacy, um, in terms of, if there's no KD, pretty much Steph and Clay wouldn't be wouldn't be the dynasty that they are. I think Shannon said that. Sorry about that. Shannon Sharp said that. Shannon Sharp was basically saying it goes hand in hand because if KD doesn't come there, and I want to say Gil has said the same thing too as well. If KD don't come there, then they don't have two added rings to the to the shelf, and they don't have two trophies on the shelf, so to speak. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because a lot of people, as you know, they criticize KD, uh, you know, particularly because I think Gilbert Arenas had basically said that the media did not respect KD's championships, as well as a lot of the fans, they didn't respect his championships. And the reason why I have to ask you this, and pose this question, is because if KD, let's say he doesn't go to Golden State and he doesn't even win any championships, would you respect KD, him not being a champion? Because, okay, if we're looking at it from a rings standpoint, then some people might judge a lot of the guys that hopped on teams, yeah, and I'm gonna say beyond their primes too. But in this case, KD was, in his prime, and he was the main player. But I'm talking about the guys that jumped on teams that were doing ring chasing, and they ended up getting the ring. It it's kind of a tricky argument because here you have a guy in KD who was criticized for constantly coming up short in the playoffs, not having a ring, this, that, and the third. But then he goes to Golden State and he ends up getting a ring, and people look at him even worse than what he did when he didn't have a ring. It's like some if you're KD, in some cases you might as well be like, you know what? I shouldn't even went to Golden State. I might as well just not got any Larry O'Brien's, not any rings or anything, because they're criticizing me just as more. And I know that he really doesn't care about that sort of thing. But the argument that Shannon was trying to make is that there were super teams, but they were created through management and everything. And of course, free agency, back way back then they didn't have free agency when we're talking about in the days of Magic and the days of Kareem and all of that, and then even going further back, they didn't have the luxury of being able to do what they're doing now. But focusing on KD for a minute, I have to ask this question because a lot of people, they always like, well, they don't respect it. They don't respect that championship, just like they don't respect the championship for the Lakers when they were in the bubble. Some people call it the bubble ring. Some people don't respect the title that the Spurs got. Hell, some people don't even respect the title that the Bucks got. But when we talk about KD and his legacy, I want to know from everyone, like, how do you actually feel about KD's legacy? If he had not went to Golden State and he had just stayed a Thunder, let's just say he stayed a Thunder his whole entire career and did not get a ring. He might have made it, the final that he did make when he lost to LeBron. And maybe he made a couple more finals, but just never quite go over the hump. Would you truly respect KD more or less or about the same? Because what I'm looking at it as is, okay, KD doesn't have a ring, right? KD don't have a ring, but he's regarded as one of the greatest scorers. However, we don't know what would have happened in terms of his injuries because, KD has had some injuries that has set him back. So what he would be looked at as possibly if he did not have the rings, right? Let's say he didn't have the rings and he stayed with the Thunder and he had got hurt constantly, right? I guarantee you, I can almost guarantee you that if he did not have the rings, okay, I'm willing to bet my life on it. If he didn't have the rings and he was just always hurt, but he was just a great player and he never got over the hump, never made the championship and everything, I guarantee you all you will hear is, yeah, injury set him back. He never won the championship and he'll never be amongst the greats. Okay, just like they're saying now, even with the rings. Oh well, he hopped on the team. He hopped on a well-oiled machine, so that doesn't count. That doesn't count. So that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to say. Damn if he does, or damn if he don't. Now, I know this is a sticky situation. What I'm about to say right here. All right. Now, Dame Lillard, he joined forces with Giannis, okay? Now, I know that some people are going to say this is a different situation. It's just Giannis. He didn't have multiple guys on the team, yada, yada, yada. It wasn't the enemy, all this other stuff, whatever. But yet and still, it's still a superstar. Giannis is a top 75 player, and so is Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard doesn't have a ring. He has yet to get a ring, and he's joining Giannis, who already has a ring. So wouldn't some people say that if Giannis gets Lillard a ring, wouldn't some people say that Giannis is actually kind of saving Dame's legacy? Because Lillard went over there. I'm just giving an example. It's just an example. Because if we're gonna sit up here and we're gonna constantly criticize a guy in KD, who went to Golden State and He went to a well-oiled machine. Um, you're playing with, one of the, well, some people consider him the greatest shooter of all time. You got a great defender in Draymond, and one of the other best shooters of all time. Some people regard Clay Thompson and Steph as the best best backcourt duo in terms of shooting ever. And then you add a guy like KD, who is a who's in the top 75, regarded as one of the greatest scorers in history, and all of that sort of thing. And a lot of people were actually saying that it was unfair and you shouldn't have did this and you shouldn't have did that. But the fact is that if he was constantly, getting criticized on him not winning the ring, on him not getting it done, all he is going to hear is constantly, oh yeah, you gotta play better, you gotta play better, you gotta play harder and stuff. But meanwhile, and look, I'm not making any excuses for KD. Would I have done something like that? Me myself personally, just looking back at it, no, because that's just a competitor in me. But I think he was looking at it from a standpoint, okay, LeBron is doing this, and and it's a competitive league. It's a monkey see, monkey do, copycat league. He saw what LeBron was doing and everything. But at the same token, we also got to hold. A lot of people hold Steph Curry and they hold, Steph Curry and guys like Draymond accountable too, because it wasn't like, okay, yeah, it was just solely KD's decision. They welcomed him over there. I think a lot of that gets swept up under the rug. So I have to ask that question. I have to pose that question because a lot of people, I feel like they look at it so one-sided. I tried to look at that whole KD situation. I tried to look at it like I tried to look at it from both ends. Okay, because my thing has always been about KD, right? And that whole Warrior situation. And I've said it many times before. What if they lost? And I'm talking about when they actually were healthy. I'm not talking about when he had got hurt. We all know, the situation that unfortunately took place where he had got hurt with the Raptors and everything. Um, what what if he didn't get hurt and they actually beat him? Okay, and I've already asked that question before. I've already asked, like a hypothetical question, as well as a rhetorical question too, as well. The thing about it is okay. So then, if he doesn't, if he doesn't get hurt, if KD don't get hurt, but they still lose, then guess what? Then you're going to be seeing them as a failure. So now you have several different situations in which you could pick and choose. You can't satisfy anybody is basically what I'm saying. KD's legacy is KD's legacy. He's still going to be a Hall of Famer. He's still going to be one of the best to ever do it. He's still going to be looked at as a champion, even though that some people might look at it as a weak move or whatever. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. And to be honest with you, I was kind of surprised that a guy like KD would do something like that. I was very shocked. I think a lot of people were shocked. I think a lot of people were thrown off by KD doing something like that. But nevertheless, we can't go back and we can't rewrite history. We can't, erase the past or anything. It is what it is. Now, I think his legacy is going to be cemented, and I don't think he cares one way or another. I think he does care about what people think about him. Uh, I think every person does. We'll be silly. We'll be silly to think that these guys don't pay attention to what people say, because that's how some of them get their motivation, because they pay attention to what some people say about them. But he's gonna be a champion regardless, whether you like it, whether somebody else doesn't like it. He's gonna be a champion regardless, and some people just have to accept that. Now, I would say like 50, 60 years down the line, 70 years down the line, it's just like with the whole Lakers championship and the bubble ring and all that other stuff. It's just gonna say champion. It's not gonna have any asterisk next to it. It's just like this old dumb mid-season tournament. Years down the line, it's just gonna say champion. It's gonna say mid-season champion. It's not gonna go through, explaining every single thing about the situation. Well, KD was top 3 scorer in the league, and he was 6'10", and Curry and Steph, I'm sorry, and Clay were already averaging so many points, and they were the best shooting backcourt and everything, and you had a guy in Draymond Green that was seen as one of the best defenders and all that stuff. It's not going to go in there and go into detail about that. It's just going to say champion 2 years in a row, back to back. It's not going to get all technical. So we got to look at it from that standpoint. But that's why we're here now. And when we talk to people, and when we let them know, okay, look, yeah, KD, he won the chip and everything. But there's going to be a big but to a lot of the people that really were here to, have witnessed that and everything. Because, we don't know what's going to happen if we're blessed, if we're not blessed to, see that point in time. We're not going to know what happened or what people are saying. All it's going to say is champion at the end of the day. And then, when it comes to Isaiah and MJ, look, what is it going to take? What is it going to take for MJ and Isaiah to have a sit down? Okay, because this is getting out of hand. I mean, a lot of people feel like it's getting out of hand. And really, honestly, I don't really blame Jordan on this situation, because it's like Isaiah keeps bringing it up. About talking about, him being an asshole and all that other stuff. As far as if you're being petty like that, you have plenty of opportunities to actually go talk to this guy. And the thing about it is that this is what a lot of people aren't understanding, is that they were actually somewhat cool and somewhat friends before all of this stuff had taken place. In terms of the freeze out game and Then on top of that, the whole envious of him being in Chicago, and of course, to pour more gasoline on the fire was the walking off the court without shaking hands. And I'm glad Shannon Sharp had brought this point up too. I had already made this point. What I was saying is that when it came to Boston walking off the floor with when it came with Isaiah and stuff, they didn't shake hands like that. Boston walked off the floor too. Okay, now does it give them a right, to do that automatically? No, because a lot of people look at it from a sportsmanship, but we have to understand that error. But now a good point that Gilbert Arenas had brought up, he said, okay, I'm not shaking no hands with you unless, you my friend or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what probably rubbed Jordan like the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And these guys were competitors too. We also have to look at it like that too. The Celtics were competitors, just as well as the Detroit Pistons were competitors, and just as well as the Chicago Bulls were competitors. Okay, but like I said, that happened like 35 years ago, 30 plus years ago. Both of y'all need to go ahead and just have a sit down with it. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys got a lot of resentment. It's just like with the whole situation that I was talking about with Scottie Pippen and Luke Longley and Horace Grant, while everybody went in a frenzy and they thought that, they were going to go ahead and talk down on Jordan and do a smear campaign. They actually, Pippen had actually ended up speaking highly of him. Look, and look, Lemon Pepper Lou. Shout out to Lemon Pepper Lou. Go sub to Lemon Pepper Lou. Look, you got the same attitude. The hell, they probably feel the same way. Detroit feels the same way about y'all. But Lou, come on, man. It's 35 years. That was on the court. I mean, Bill Laimbeer is doing the same shit too, man. Bill Laimbeer has been on record and has basically said he is not issuing no type of apology at all. He's not sorry for what he did about, with Jordan. He doesn't care one way or another. Okay. I think, what's his name? Isaiah Thomas had actually came out in a statement and actually apologized. He was one of the ones that did apologize, about what they did and stuff. But he did defend that. He did say that, that's how we played back in those days. And he said everybody played like that. Right, I understand. But Lou, we're talking about, like I said, we're talking about something that happened like 35 years ago. And then on top of that, these guys got, some of these guys got grandkids. I mean, look, I take it so far as what if your son or, like your son or your daughter, you know what I'm saying, they want to date one of those guys' children or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or, their son or their daughter. You're going to be like, no. Man, that's a Detroit Pistons fan. Hell no. You're not going to do that, man. You're going to be like, man, that stuff was like 30-something years ago. Yeah, let you tell it. But I guarantee you'll pick Isaiah up. You'll pick him up on your squad. Y'all can have all this hate, all this anger against Isaiah y'all want to. Yeah, and it's the same thing, if they had anger against Michael Jordan and all this other stuff. But I guarantee you they'll pick him up. You know damn well, Lou, John Stockton, you would rather have Isaiah Thomas instead of John Stockton. Let's just keep it funky, man. Let's keep it a stack. Yeah, man. Yeah, they got rid of Kenny Payne, man. I talked about that earlier, man. Hey, but he's still getting his money though. But hey, Lou, I was gonna ask you, man. I was hoping that you chimed in on that one, man. Do you think do you think they should have let him go like that though? Because he was 12-52 in the 2 seasons or whatever. He said it was going to take a minute, but initially when he came, y'all were 13-19, and they said, but they did. I mean, to be fair though, Lou, they did pay him. They paid him a lot of money. We're talking about what, eight million, 3.5 million, but 8 million, 8 million on total. Right, I understand. I mean, so well, so you weren't willing to give him another year, another season, because he did say, um, Lou, that he needed the fans' help. He needed the school's help. He needed everybody's help. He said it was going to be like a collective thing, man. But 12-52 is bad, and what makes it look even more bad, Lou, is the fact that um they had a better record before he had got there. That's what makes it. I could defend him in a case like, okay, let's say that their record had got a little bit better, but they didn't. They probably just made the NIT, or they barely missed the tournament or something like that. But I mean, to go from that, because what it was, 4-28, and then 8-24, something like that. He blamed the fans for his poor. Oh man. Hey, but Lou, remember you were excited about this. You were excited when Kenny Payne came on. Come on, man. You were excited when he came on as a coach. You were excited about him. Let's just be honest. You were excited when he first came on. Come on, man. Let's keep that same energy, bro. Don't even try to sit here and cap, man. You know you were excited, man. You gotta like, what I'm saying. You gotta at least give him some sort of wiggle room, man. You gotta be fair. Nah, but yeah, man. I looked at that and I was like, yeah, man. They was gonna let him go because he was like the fourth. He was the fourth highest paid coach in the ACC. Yeah, Hey, I remember. Hey, I remember when he came. You had always told me that he was gonna come, Lou. I don't know if you remember. Telling me that on your live one time. You was like, yeah, we about to get Kenny Payne. I remember you was excited about him. And then he came. I guess all that changed when the results didn't come. So I know that they're looking for somebody next. Who do you want? And who do you want as a coach now? Who you want as a coach now? What I saw the last 2 years was not Louisville basketball. Yeah, yeah, they've definitely never been. I can't say that I have either. I mean, dead last. I mean, man, as much as people talked about Rick Pitino and the stuff that he was doing, it makes you appreciate a guy like Rick Pitino, even though it was all that stuff that was going on. Oh, Scott Draw, yeah, yeah. Would you want? Do you want him? Cause I want to see Louisville. I want to see Louisville back up in there, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not basketball without Louisville. Hey, and Lou, you were right, man. Hey, you was right about D'Lo, man. Hey, D'Lo, I thought that D'Lo was from St. Louis, bro. I could have swore he was from St. Louis, but you was right, man. He was from Louisville. I was like, man, and of course cause you cool with him and stuff. I was like, man, for some reason I thought he was from St. Louis, man. Yeah, that's right. Y'all do. Y'all need a Hall of Fame type of coach. That's facts. In order to get to where y'all be, because we can sit here and try to transform it and everything, but Louisville got championship expectations, man. People look at Louisville like, oh yeah, nah, they just nah. Louisville got championship expectations. I remember Louisville. Louisville has a good program, man. Louisville and Kentucky. Shout out to both of them. Nah, but I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. I appreciate the brother Lou the Rider pulling up. Definitely go sub to the brother Lemon Pepper Lou. Until then, it's straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. I'll get at y'all later.